Scrappers, it's Vanessa here, and I am participating in the RTS scrapbooking 6x6 hop that is happening today. So if you just found me on that hop, welcome to my channel. Hopefully you find some inspiration, and if you want to see more from me, you can always click that subscribe button. So today for the hop, we are focusing on 6x6. This is playing along with the class that Janet has been doing on RTS scrapbooking for the last couple of weeks, and so I'm going to be pulling out a 6x6 paper pad to create my layout. Now, because she is using a Scrapbook Generations class for 6x6, I did go out to the Scrapbook Generations website and I did grab this free sketch. I will have the links for everyone participating in the hop down below, as well as a link to Scrapbook Generations as well, so that you can grab this hop or do some grab this sketch or do some shopping. So this is the sketch that I sort of based my layout around. I didn't use any of the suggested measurements on this side, but the nice thing about Scrapbook Generations is when they do a sketch, they will also do measurements and variations and things like that here on the side. So it's kind of gives you lots of different ways to create your page, and so what's really nice is if you need a step-by-step, you can always follow their measurements. So this is the one I'm using. This was just a free one from their website, and like I said, we'll have the link down below. So I just want to say thank you to Janet for asking me if I wanted to play it in this hop. And if I am your first stop and you haven't seen the other videos, again, I will have those all down below so that you can go and take a look at all the other 6x6 inspiration that is going to be out there today. And so guys, with that, I'm going to hop over to the process and we are going to put a layout together based off of this sketch. Okay guys, so now I'm just going to show you the different bits and pieces that I pulled for this layout, and these are all from my stash, and a lot of it is just things that I had sort of sitting off to the side of my desk. As you saw at the beginning, I am using a picture from Walt Disney World. I thought it was a fitting choice since I know that Janet also loves Disney World, and so she often will scrap it as well. So for this layout, I am doing this picture from Walt Disney World, and I decided that I was going to focus on the pinks and yellows. Now the photo doesn't really have a lot of yellow in it, but I decided to pick that as the coordinating color with the pink. So once I had that sort of idea in mind, I obviously had my sketch from Scrapbook Generations. So based on that, I then decided to grab the Good Vibes 6x6 paper pad, and from that I pulled out all of these different patterns that you see here, and basically what I was focusing on were the ones that had some yellows and some pinks in them. So that is what you see me doing here, and I'm kind of playing around and just seeing sort of where I think I'm going to sort of lay out those papers to match how they are in the sketch. Now, one thing that you will see here is I'm laying those strips out at the bottom of the page, so right away you can see that I have flipped that sketch to now have the paper strips going along the bottom. So here I have gone ahead and I have cut down all of those paper strips. I think I went with about 1 inch, which, like I said, I wasn't using the measurements from the actual sketch itself. So these are about 1 inch strips of pattern paper. And here I am just kind of playing out on the layout how I want to lay those strips down. So I'm fairly happy with this layout here. I think it changes a little bit when I glue it down, but essentially I wanted to start and end with those pink and yellow striped pieces of pattern paper, and so that for sure I knew I wanted, and the rest of the little strips of paper could kind of get mixed up, but essentially this is how it will lay out. And now I am just going to start here by matting my photo. I have just a piece of white wood grain pattern paper that I'm just going to do a simple mat behind my photo just to help it stand out, because it is going to be on top of all of those colorful pieces of pattern paper. And so I wanted something to have a little bit of definition around my photo so that it made it sort of stand out. I am also going to grab this cut file, which was from my Creative Cuts Club kit. I forget which month it was now, but I am going to use that there at the bottom. And that little cut file with the arrows is sort of what I'm going to use in place of all the stars that were on the original layout from Scrapbook Generations. So here now you see I am laying out really how this layout is going to ultimately look in the end. I have fussy cut some pieces from this little cut apart from the 6x6. So again, I'm utilizing the cut apart sheet and quite a few different patterns from the 6x6. So this is a great way to get, even if you're just using scraps, it's a great way to use up scraps, is a layout like this. And so here you see I'm basically laying out how the design is going to go. I'm going to have sort of 3 clusters, one at the top, one above the photo, and then one to the side, the left side of the photo. I did punch out some pink Mickey heads, which I am going to scatter in each of my different clusters, because every Disney layout, for me anyway, has a Mickey head somewhere on it. And now I am just kind of going through the sticker books. I had pulled 2 sticker books from my stash. One was the Paige Evans, and I believe the other one was Vicki Boutin. And I'm just kind of going through and seeing if there are any stickers that I want to kind of pull to add to my clusters for this. Now, off camera, I will end up gluing all of this down. So there you see I've started to glue my papers down. One thing I did not show on the video, and I believe it kind of got cut off, was I did back that arrow cut file with a piece of vellum. And so I wanted the patterns to be able to show through, but I wanted to sort of have some sort of little bit of definition, I guess I should say, with that cut file over top of those pattern papers. So I did back it with some vellum. Now I am just going to work on these clusters again now that I have the main elements glued down. And I did decide to put a border sticker up there at the top cluster just to again sort of ground it. And here I am sort of auditioning a few other border stickers from this Paige Evans sticker book. However, I end up not putting one down at the bottom. So next here I am going to start to work on my title. So my title is going to go on the top and bottom of the picture. So it's a little bit different than the layout in the fact that I am not going to have, at least not right now, any journaling, but I do divide my title as the original sketch shows, where I have a part of it on top and a part of it below the photo. So I do sort of keep to that as well. So here I'm just laying out these pink letters on this little label. I have the is on top of that little yellow ephemera piece. I can't even remember what collection. These are really, a lot of these pieces are really, really old pieces that I had in my collection. And so the title for this one is The Royal Couple. And I know it's hard to see in the photo, but in that little balloon that you see in the photo, which was from a parade at the Magic Kingdom, it is Mickey and Minnie inside that balloon, and they're waving to everyone. And of course, they are the royal couple at Walt Disney World. And so I thought this layout fit pretty well with that. So I basically just was going for a yellow and pink title to sort of match the 2 main colors that I'm pulling out for this layout. So now once I have my title down, I am going to kind of go through some of the other items that I pulled for this layout, and I'm kind of just auditioning different bits and pieces, and you're going to see here I put some things down and then I end up pulling them up because ultimately I end up not liking the look. I think all of those puffy stickers eventually, yep, they all make it back to the packaging because I ended up just not liking how they were looking on the layout. What does end up working is some of these stars from the Vicky Bouton sticker sheet. I think this is the only thing I pull from that sticker book as well, is just these stars in both this darker pink and the yellow. Now, off camera, I do pop all of those stars up on some fun foam just to give some dimension. Some of the other elements are popped up as well, again, to add that dimension. And then after that, I did grab these word stickers from, I believe these are from, Maggie Holmes, one of her older collections. I think this might have been the Heritage, no, not the Heritage collection. I can't gather, I believe. And so I'm going to scatter one of those in each of my clusters as well. Again, if you've watched any of my layouts in the past, you know that I'm a big fan of the 3 clusters on a layout. And so this one definitely keeps to that. Now, again, to add some additional texture to my layout, I am pulling out these wood veneer stars. I have so many wood veneer and I always forget to use them. And so in this case, I am going to pull them out because, again, it adds that extra texture. I have the texture with the vellum and then the texture with obviously the pattern paper and the thickers and that fabric bow. But now that wood just adds, again, a little bit more interest to this layout. I am going to back the entire layout on that yellow piece of cardstock. My lighting makes it look very, very bright. It's actually not that bright of a cardstock, but the yellows are definitely very bright on my camera for some reason. So it's not quite as bright as it looks here on camera in real life. As a finishing touch, though, I do go ahead and add some of these Jelly Bean Soup little sequins. I have several of these packages and I am trying to use them up, and they have been floating around my craft room for quite a while. So I am trying to pull them out when I can and put them on some layouts. And this one was pink, and so it worked out perfectly. So I'm just fussing around here, as you can see, being very indecisive on where I'm going to put those sequins. But I just am dotting the sequins around like I would enamel dots, just to give that sort of, again, the elements of 3 in that visual triangle. The last thing I do here is I think I'm just kind of seeing if I want to use anything else. And guys, with that, in a few moments here, I will have the still photos at the end. I want to also remind you that the links are down below for everyone participating in this hop. So please be sure to go and check out some of those videos and see all of the amazing 6x6 inspiration that's out there. And with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.